Directorate of Public Relations of the Australian Army presents War Correspondent. Your name is Mike McCann. You're a war correspondent. For the people of this atomic time who know that peace belongs only to the prepared, you tell these stories of the Australian Army on active service. Your name is Mike McCann, war correspondent.
I'm Mike McCann. These days, the memory of the campaign in Greece brings mixed reactions among military men. But it brings only one reaction from the Australians who served there, a memory of a beautiful country, harsh and turbulent in its climate and formation, and of intensely patriotic and hospitable people. In the mind of the fighting soldier, there's also a bitter memory, a memory of a fight that was doomed from the start. But that didn't deter Australian troops who were shipped from the Middle East to Greece when the Germans stepped in to aid their faltering Italian partners in the conquest of the historic landmasses on the Aegean and Ionian seas. It's well remembered now that the Australian troops had to withdraw from Greece. But that withdrawal followed the pressure of a force superior in numbers, equipment, and air support. As was the situation in many of the early battles of World War II, we were at a disadvantage in almost everything except courage. At the beginning, though, there was doubt even in the Nazi German mind that Greece could be taken. The patriotic Greek forces and the Yugoslavs were fighting with a bitter and a dogged determination. And then there came the Australians, who were not only friendly and brave, they were also skillful soldiers. At the curtain rise in Greece, hearts of free people and imprisoned people were high when they first heard that the Australians, the renowned diggers, were going to the aid of Greece.
I'll give you the drum now, McCracken. This, Alex, is the sum total. The lay-down misere. The place where dreams come true.
Smelly as a garbage dump in the height of summer. Desert Head, you're always the same, too lyrical. So we've been in the desert a while and we come back to Alex.
8 months we've been in the desert, McCracken.
So 8 months we've been in the desert. Then we come back to Amaria, close to Alexandria, and you come in on leave and announce you're in the Garden of Eden.
Oh, man, compared with Mercer Matru, this is the Garden of Eden. Peel me a grape, mate, and beckon across that brown-eyed beauty I see wiggling her hips across the cafe floor.
Okay. So I peel your grape out of the bottle and you just lie back there, wallowing.
Oh, boy, and have I been dreaming of just this wallow.
Do you reckon any of the Jippo lasses are going to look at a bald-headed galah like you?
Been known to happen.
The sun's been too much. You're desert happy, Desert Head.
I note your remarks. I'm happy. That suits me. A glass of peeled grape, if you don't mind, Macca. I'm in a mood to relax. This is living.
For tonight. Then tomorrow, back to the sand and flies.
I agree. Pity there was not some fragrant land, some flower-coloured landscape, milk and honey, beautiful women and gentle breezes.
Victim of the grog. Drink up and...
Provost interrupting proceedings.
As usual.
I gather some poor drongos have to return to their units.
That's us. We're the Podrongos.
What are you saying?
That's who the man means, Maka. Us.
But we've just come on leave. This is the first glass of peeled grape.
And the man means we've got to rejoin our unit. Quick, smart Desert Head. You got anything inside that skull?
Macca, I want you to note this. There are times I intensely dislike the army.
Noted. Flowers, fragrant landscape, beautiful women and gentle breezes. You've got a show of getting them. Come on, Desert Head. Back to what General Blamey and the General Staff has put on the plate for us.
Last night, sucking a grape from which the seed had been extracted. Taking a view of the Egyptian situation, which was not solely confined to the Sphinx.
Now on our way to Greece.
Macca, allow me, please.
Okay, Omar Khayyam. You ought to be in the poetical section of the AIF instead of drawing money under false pretenses as a soldier.
As I was saying, Last night...
Is past. Without a hangover, too, worse luck.
Last night is past. Today, the blue Mediterranean gulls on the gleaming wing. His Majesty's good warship, the cruiser Gloucester, heaving gently on.
Speaking of heaving.
Please, Macca, let us be tasteful. And we are voyaging to the classical land. The land of Homer.
Hey, that's new equipment on those bombers.
The land of Homer and Virgil.
And the Italians.
Pass me the Bren, dear fellow. It appears we have unwelcome visitors.
You couldn't be more right, Desert Head. Rapidly coming towards us is about a squadron of dive bombers. Eye-ties, I'd say.
Always try to be accurate, Macca. Identify them positively.
Do it yourself, mate. Here they are.
Ah, yes, the serpent in paradise. Let's get into them.
This could be the country we could collect it in. Don't know that I want to leave my bones in Greece.
2,000 years ago, a perceptive person named Virgil
All
said,
right, Desert Head, so some character said something.
He said, the day may dawn when this plight shall be sweet to remember.
Could be.
On that, as the plebeians of the race course put it, I'd bet a quid. Have a gander at it, Macca. Green meadows, grass moving with the breeze.
Yeah. Looks like gums up there on that hillside.
And breathe deep, Macca. Sweep the sand from your lungs and smell the fragrance of the flowers.
Wonderful. Plenty of flowers. Handy for that grave.
The grave is inevitable, Macca. Live, breathe deep. In this land, our culture was nurtured.
I'd say it's an improvement on the desert.
And ahead I see the historic buildings of ancient Greece. Athens, Macca. Ancient Athens.
Don't mind me, mate. I know what's going on in that naked skull of yours. You're thinking of the Greek ouzo and the dames.
That suggestion is insulting. Ouzo is in the same class as Adak. The dames are no doubt the same as to be seen back in good old Australia.
So what?
But a difference, I perceive.
They're throwing flowers, Desert Head.
Exactly. That's the thing I've never known a woman do back home. I hope General Blamey's got it all organized like this.
Be seated. And you may smoke, gentlemen. There's no way to escape the facts, nor do we want to. Today at 05:15, the German 12th Army began its advance into Greece and Yugoslavia. The first shock of the German offensive is being taken by the poorly prepared Yugoslav army, and there's a thin line of Greeks on the Bulgarian frontier. Now, I'm going to ask that the New Zealanders be withdrawn to the mountain passes, and while the New Zealanders give cover to Olympus Pass, our own Australian troops will be digging in above the snow line in the Verrier Pass. These will be extremely trying conditions for our men, in intense cold, having to climb over precipitous heights without any transport assistance.
And what idyllic paradise do we now travel towards? To me, it does not matter. The present is sufficient. In the meadows to our left and to our right are the buttercups and the peasant girls, lovely and fresh as dewy roses.
Have a gander at the one waving to us now. Pretty ancient old rose, if you ask me. Might be on the sunny side of 80.
Nevertheless, she loves us, wants us. You hear what she called out?
Some Greek lingo.
Lingo? In Greek she addressed us, McCracken. She said, Zito i Australia,
Sounds insulting, Desert Head.
which means long live Australia.
Oh, well, that's very nice. Hope she's right. But I tell you what, I don't like our show of staying alive too long in this country if the Germans really get stuck into us. These mountain passes can give the Luftwaffe, or whatever the Jerrys call their air force, a real killing.
This is not country to kill in Mecca. Look at the signs of spring on the land, the blossom on the fruit trees, the fresh green of the pines on the slope. And up there, the glistening white of Olympus and Parnassus.
Only hope we don't have to climb them.
My dear Mecca, this is one of the opportunities of any man's lifetime, to be given the opportunity to ascend the Grecian slopes. Up there, as the snow melts under the spring sunshine, the ancient shepherd herds his sheep and goats. The barefoot girl leads the donkey with its load of firewood, and behind the plow walks the old woman sowing the seed. Majestic Mecca.
And also slightly deadly.
Deadly? I don't get you, you Australian-eyed Scot.
Oh, you don't get me, but the Jerrys will. All this stuff you're spouting about scenery and so on doesn't do anything for me.
No?
No. I'm looking at those narrow roads up there, Desert Head. Hey, look at that one, up there on the side of the mountain. Imagine how we'll be stuck up there with a German Air Force at us and German guns and the rest of the Nazi heap thrown at us.
Bloom, Mecca. Face the bright reality. We won't be up there. No snow-covered slopes for us. The war is fought in the valleys, on the slopes, in the pleasant pastures. Not on the mountain peaks. Be a realist, Mecca. This is friendly Greece of historic worth. This is the place of mythology, of green fields and milk-skinned beauties.
Desert Head. This green pasture stuff and female beauties. All that. This the same country, you reckon?
Speak up, Mecca. The wind is in competition with your dulcet tones.
This the joint you were spouting about. No fighting on the mountains. What's this we're on? The Switchback Railway.
The rough with the smooth, Mecca. The rough with the smooth.
Oh, smooth. Nothing smooth about this. 3,000 feet high and more mountains above us. Oh, snow falling and wind sharp as a knife. No roads, carry our own gear. Ancient Greece, you can have it for mine. You can really have it.
And if I don't want it?
Then you can give it to anyone who does. Speaking for myself, even before the fighting starts, I've had Greece.
The Germans launched their assault in Thrace and eastern Macedonia, supported by heavy artillery, flamethrowers, and air bombardment. The Greeks fought valiantly in their frontier forts, and the Australians moved into the rugged country. Snow was falling on Australian positions on that April morning when the German troops made contact. Australians, huddled down into the snow in greatcoats, looked down from their mountain position onto the stream of Greek and Yugoslav refugees carrying their possessions through the Allied lines. Then they sighted another stream, a dark green stream of German vehicles, trucks, and tanks, moving across the plain below towards the Australian positions. And then cold, misty cloud closed in their view, and they waited as night fell for the battle to open.
I'll tell you something, Desert Head. The sand was easier to dig slick trenches in than this rocky stuff.
Just as well we've got something to do. Otherwise we'd freeze to death. What's that, Mecca?
You're hearing things again.
Shh, someone out there.
The old German army.
Pass me the brim. Who's there?
Friendly patrol here, Steve. Friends here.
Yeah? Who are you?
Friends here.
Advance and be recognized. You cover him from the flank, Mecca. Advance one and be recognized.
Stand up, mate.
Yeah? And cop something from you? Now, here's your answer.
German patrol's all right, Desert Head.
That's right. Looks like we're not going to have much sleep tonight.
And it could be quite a big day tomorrow.
Could be. Roll on the dawn so we can see what tomorrow brings.
You awake, Desert Head? You awake?
Just dozed off for a second. Man, what a night.
Dawn's breaking. Now, let's see how many Germans we've got out in front of us.
Yeah. Where are they? They seem to have vanished off the face of the earth.
Maybe we just dreamed those voices out there last night.
The voices in the night had not been a dream. They belonged to probing German patrols who withdrew during the day, leaving the Australians to suffer the intense cold while they waited for the German assault. The Germans didn't appear to be over-anxious to make their first firm contact with the Australians. German artillery and mortars began the action.
And here they come. Driving up to the starting line in trucks. They're probably nice and warm, too. Plenty of blankets and hot food.
They're probably cold as we are, Mecca. All that Erzart stuff. Blankets made of paper and coffee made from acorns.
Yeah. Well, those tanks they're wheeling up in the line down there, they'd be of cardboard, eh? And that would be a Chinese firecracker.
All right, Mecca. Why don't you save your arguing for the Germans? Looks like they're ready to start right now.
Yeah. Here they come, bunched up like they were on a route march, except each platoon's got a tank in front of it.
There's one thing about which I can assure you, Mecca, and that is that this is no route march the Germans are on. Get your head down. The climate's changing. I've got the feeling it's going to be very warm to hot any time now.
So there we are, gentlemen. The 2nd, 8th still hold their mountain positions, but the Germans have taken nearby heights, and the battalion's under fire from the right flank. The battalion headquarters and aid post are under fire from the left rear, and it's evident that the battalion will have to withdraw, but not along the road. The German tanks are in control of the main road. So there's our plight. Hello? What's that? Yeah? Good heavens. Right. Gentlemen, you must return at once to your men. The Germans have reopened their attack with tanks and large numbers of troops. Now we have no alternative but to withdraw.
There are tanks along the whole front now, Desert Head.
So I can see. And I can tell you they're not made of cardboard. Our anti-tank rifles are about as effective against them as pea shooting.
Yeah, right there. They only raise sparks from them. Oh, there goes one ugly brute in behind us, Desert Head. What now?
Your guess is as good as mine. Look, there's the very line. That means withdraw. Come on, let's get out of here before we get steamrolled by a Jerry tank.
Yeah. Oh, we make for the floor of the valley. And keep down. Machine guns are firing right, left, and center around here. Come on, keep down. There are the rest of the boys, plodding away through the mud down there.
But those jokers along there on motorbikes, they're not ours. They weren't ours. Germans, they were.
Well, they've turned back with a flea in their ear.
After putting a bit of lead too close to my ear for my liking, this is a good place to be out of. Let's speed up a bit.
Oh, man, I can't go any faster. After climbing all over the mountains, going without sleep, now carting our guns through this and has got me all worn out.
Okay, have it your own way. Slow down and you'll have a nice long rest in the Jerry POW camp.
Reeling back under the weight of German armor, artillery, and aircraft, the Australians withdrew under covering fire from their own artillery. But our forces lost heavily in this first encounter with the enemy. Despite the disparity in forces, however, the Australians and New Zealanders were determined to sell themselves dearly. 26 years before, the Australians and New Zealanders had landed on Gallipoli, and several of the senior leaders now in Greece, including Generals Blamey, Mackay, and Freiberg, had served at the Gallipoli landing. Now, in this desperate time in Greece, General Blamey issued the following message to his divisional commanders. As from 1800 hours, 12th of April, 1st Australian Corps will be designated Anzac Corps. In making this announcement, the GOC Anzac Corps desires to say that the reunion of the Australian and New Zealand divisions gives all ranks the greatest uplift. The task ahead, though difficult, is not nearly so desperate as that which our fathers faced in April 26 years ago. we go to it with stout hearts and certainty of success.
You think those bombs were noisy enough without the Jerry's putting screamers on them, too?
Suppose they fitted the screamers to celebrate the formation of our Anzac Corps. Look at those New Zealanders digging in on that bridge. They look like ants.
On a brick wall. That's how steep those mountains are, Desert Head. This country would make Switzerland look as flat as a Nullarbor plain. Hey, look! Look out there! What's that?
Where?
Through the pass.
Jerry's. They've been waiting for this bombing to soften our positions up. Now the troops will be moving in. They've opened up their shelling. Won't be long now before she'll be on for young and old. They've moved into the hills.
Yeah, to outflank us or come in behind us.
Well, I'm glad it's them climbing those mountains and not me. Wait a moment. What's that down there?
Where?
Down along the road just in front of where the 2nd 1st machine gunners are dug in. See?
Oh, them. Oh, they're only Greek stragglers coming along the road. Just a bunch of them retreating.
Reckon? That's Lieutenant Sampson's platoon opened up. They don't seem to think they're Greek stragglers.
No. Hey, now I take another look at them. I don't either. Hey, come on. Let's get in on this. The Jerry's are up with us again. Not much cover.
Not enough cover for a bunny. Look at him coming up behind those bushes. There's one. I'll make him get his head down.
Field day for our machine gunners, Desert Head.
Shows one thing, Macca. These Jerrys aren't the military geniuses they're cracked up to be.
Not such great heroes either. Look at them coming out with a white handkerchief.
Yeah, surrendering like eye ties. Bit of a change in them when they come up against us in well-dug-in positions where their dive bombers can't properly get at us, eh?
Yeah, they're popping up like mushrooms.
Yeah, hundreds of them.
And while our blokes are machine gunning them out from behind the bushes, the New Zealanders are nudging them out with the bayonets.
A real pretty sight. In fact, it's the nicest sight I've seen since I've arrived in Greece.
Yeah, real pretty. But I tell you something, Desert Head. By the look of that long procession of trucks and tanks coming from away back there through the pass, I don't think we're going to see this kind of performance too often.
You might be right at that, Macca. In that case, we'd better pick up a few wins while we can.
Victories were few, and of a minor nature for the Allies in Greece. The enemy was too strong and too well equipped, particularly in the air. But despite the great odds, the newly formed Anzac Corps fought well, falling back in order until the command came ultimately to withdraw from Greece. But while they fought together on those Greek mountain slopes, the Australians and New Zealanders were able to demonstrate that the fighting spirit of their fathers had lived on long after Gallipoli.
War Correspondent, recorded by Robert Peach Productions, is presented for your entertainment by the Australian Army's Directorate of Public Relations.